Good morning, everyone.
Hi, I'm Lani Voivod, one of the content lovers of Epiphanies, Inc. And today I have the honor and privilege of sitting in front of our fireplace with the chief nut of Acorn Creative, Kevin Skarritt. Now, Kevin is an incredible student of life and one of the foremost experts and thought leaders on social media and new media marketing. Kevin, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Lani.
And today Kevin's going to share with us his top 3 predictions for the impact of social media on business for 2009. Not a small topic, but he is coming to us with some really innovative opinions, and we're so glad to hear them. Kevin.
Yes.
Your first prediction on the impact of social media on business in 2009.
Well, I'd like to start with probably a big idea. A lot of business owners probably are feeling the crunch of the economy and the
Tell our audience.
The crunch of the economy, and this is new. They just asked me to do this just a few minutes ago. So this is very much impromptu.
He came over to.
But the tea is lovely, Lani.
It
Thank
is.
you very much.
I bribed him, and he came over to borrow a book. So this is what we do when we come to the Voivods.
Okay, so it's a big idea. Most business owners feel the crunch of the economy. They feel the impact of their marketing dollar value slipping away, and this declining return on investment value for traditional media, advertising, TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, yellow pages, getting the word out to sell to people your ideas, your services, your products, is becoming much more difficult, and through traditional media. And I think it's not terribly bold, but I think that 2009 is going to be a watershed year where most businesses, all the way down to the ma-pa businesses, the solopreneurs, all the way up to the biggest businesses, they will feel such a dramatic decline in traditional media that they will start turning to other forms of marketing, and foremost, most efficient, most impactful is social media technologies.
And may I add to that I completely agree, and I think it's going to be a panic. There's going to be a panic, not unlike the warnings of the flood coming. Oh, it's fine. There will be no flood. And the people who have been listening to the signs and paying attention to the thought leaders on the subject, and been slowly integrating some of these social media tools are going to feel okay because they've gone. They've prepped. But what you're saying is people are going to start seeing numbers of traditional media tanking, and suddenly. There's going to be an absolute panic. The demand on virtual assistants that help out with social networking, so it can be outsourced, is going to just skyrocket. That's a great industry to be in right now, and especially corporate professionals who consult on these matters for corporations of all sizes. It's going to explode.
And just keep an eye on it. If this is the first time you've heard of this, keep an eye on traditional media. Look at what is happening with radio stations and newspapers, magazines. Magazines disappearing, becoming more niche-like. Newspapers going under, radio stations going under. And the reason that these things are happening is because it's much harder to sell to businesses these mediums because the value's not there.
Without folding in a new model.
Yes,
people
correct.
are clinging on to an old economic model that's
exactly
just
right.
not working anymore.
Right. I think also the people who do get it, the people who are forward thinkers, that people who are willing to embrace these new ideas, they are finding that social media marketing ideas are much more direct to consumer. They can connect with their target audience directly without the intermediary of media.
At a fraction of the cost, because it's so targeted.
Right.
You don't need to reach 6 billion people, you need to reach a tiny percentage of those who want your products and services.
That's right.
Okay, what is the second prediction?
Second prediction would be, let's get into some specific tools in social media. LinkedIn is now probably the most widely used business social networking system used in the United States right now. I believe they have over
20 million, I think.
20 million, so I think it's almost 30 million now. I think that this year, 2009, not only will we see the majority of business owners getting into it clearly passing 50% of business people. Right now, I think we're at 500 out of 500 of the Fortune 500 companies have senior level executives on LinkedIn.
Wow.
You know, that's an amazing statistic. And that we're going to see not only a continuation of the growth of that network, but I think we're going to actually start seeing people using it this year. People using it for their networking activities.
Go ahead.
For their networking activities and for new and creative ways of finding products and services. The way that the systems will be used is going to, I think, dramatically increase this year.
And also because you're the one who shared this with me, that they are just beginning to open up their platform to allow other people to create applications to make it, you know, not necessarily like Facebook, but what I like about LinkedIn, is that it holds to its limits and people work in that, which makes their, I guess, the potential for creativity, because Ellen, what was the quote used earlier about limitations?
Oh, that limitations actually enhance the potential for creativity?
Yeah, that kind of thing. That's why LinkedIn is going to be so incredibly powerful, is because it's going to really streamline ingenuity.
That's right.
All right, the third prediction for 2009 social media's impact on business in 2009.
Well, if you are listening to this and you have tried to set up a profile on a robust site like Facebook, and then a week later you go to LinkedIn, and a week later you go to MySpace, and a week later you go to Plaxo, the next tool, it goes on and on and on and on. Every time you sign up for a new system, you have to input the same information. Name and address and email address, and they ask you silly questions, and you've got to, you know, what are my favorite hobbies, and how many times do I have to do this? When you update one, it doesn't propagate across all of those sites. You have to go across all of those sites. You have to, the process of managing your profile online is starting to become a burden because of the complexity and the richness of social media websites. So a lot of discussion in the last 2 years has been, how can you have a single point of entry, a single managed profile? And a lot of discussion. I was at an expo in New York City, the Widget Web Expo. I was just recently at the New Media Marketing Summit down in Massachusetts, and at both events, the leading edge people are talking a lot about portable profiles. You create a single profile once, and that portable profile you take with you to all of these social media sites. A question that has not really been clearly answered in my mind, but there's, again, lots of discussion about it, is what about your alter egos, the parts of your own persona that you don't necessarily want everybody to know about. And you know, so if I'm on a social media site, a social networking site, I'm a chess fanatic, right?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want all of my business associates to know all of my interest in chess.
Because chess is deviant.
It's kind of geeky. It's kind of geeky. So yes, but I'm sure there are people with far worse issues. But the point is the same. I don't necessarily.
Than chess?
Than chess, yeah. I would hope.
It's not like cross-dressing. It's like, not that there's anything wrong with that. Certainly
while at chess tournaments, yeah.
Yes.
That's a good niche.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We're launching a magazine about it in the spring.
That's right. No, that would be traditional media. It'll be electronic magazine distributed online. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
do think that the information you provided today has been outstanding, and thanks for being willing to jump in front of the fire and have this lovely fireside chat.
Thank you for the tea.
Acorncreative.com to see what Kevin and his team can do for your business. And if you'd like to see Epiphanies Inc. in action, go to our blog at ahayourself.com. Thank you very much and have a great day.
And background sounds provided by Buddy the Awkward Dog, who has been tearing up a nice chew toy. Thank you, Buddy.